Welcome, beloved maze, as we meet in absolute oneness, as the Council of One reconvenes. We bring you here now into the cosmic core directly with me, activating your cosmic iron presence unified chakra system so that all are ready, aligned, and attuned with the cosmic masters on council with me for here in absolute oneness. In the cosmic core, there is no time, space, reality. So let us call all of our council members here in this now to recalibrate, return, retune all to the absolute oneness we know to be. Calling upon the Lemurian Council, the Pleiadian Council, the Cosmic Council, the Aquiferian Council, Master Andara Rays, Cosmic Mothers, Ascended Dragon Masters, Order of the Phoenix, Sophia Dragon Code, Shekinah Holy Spirit, the Cosmic Child, Andromedum Council, Syrian Council, Council of Light Beings, Council of Light, Venusian Council, Cosmic Race Consciousness Council, Cosmic Families of Light, Council of Elders, Cosmic Core Guardians, Arcturian Council, Lyran Council, and Cosmic Fathers here and now, merging and returning all to the one council, the Council of One. Together, let's have some fun. Welcome, beloved muse, as we meet in absolute oneness, witnessing what is currently transpiring in your earthly trajectories, smiling with glee, for you have no idea what your love has achieved. The Sir's children have returned, dearest me. This is the ultimate graduation ceremony. For heal, the veils release, and all begin to see everything we as a collective have done has been to assist in returning source presence to all formality, where the return, the awakening of source children means one thing, that it is now time to recalibrate, restore all back to the love we know to be. Many of you knew this, that within the dream, love gifted you these desires to create a sanctuary, to create and release certain woundings, so that these source children could be free, because these essence, these presence of love, or source itself, you see, they know no separation, and they are here to reset, recalibrate the entirety. And yet for some of you, this is the awakening, the remembrance that you were born source, you see. And for some others, it is the preparation and the preparing for these children that will be, these pure essence souls that will come in, free of karmic belief, never knowing fear, nor will they ever be, here to recalibrate, restore all, simply through the presence and the purest love that they keep. And so, as we sit upon council, we ask within ourselves, how can we prepare all to receive this love that is coming in, both within and without thee? For now, your absolute reality of absolute oneness is coming to be. And so the first thing that comes up is to release the old paradigm blueprint. And so we're calling that forth in this now as the firmament that once sealed the old reality, calling forth the body of oneness, the mind of oneness, the ego of oneness, the matrix of oneness, the projections of oneness, the perceptions of oneness, and the expectations of oneness. Feel and just witness the geometry of this paradigm that we created to be. In this paradigm, Earth was built and calibrated to be a reflective reality. This is what one will refer to as the matrix, but it's not something to become. It's not something to be conquered, dearest me. It was something that we created, and so we love it and we set it free. The ego of oneness, was designed to show thee one mastery. Are you in oneness or are you not in oneness? For that's what the ego teaches, you see. For how else can you, as cosmic masters in an earthly trajectory, not connected to the source presence you know to be, to know light, vibration, and frequency? And so, every time you vibrated something that was not truth to the core essence you know to be, the ego of oneness, aka the energetic guidance system of oneness came online and said, you're not vibrating in oneness by presenting the energies of separation, overreacting to a story that should have been simply witnessed, giving you a clue that you are not being true. For how else would love teach in a reflective reality that you are not being your true vibration than by showing you an emotion that wasn't your truth, a thought form that wasn't your truth, right? Judging someone if you've already cleared judgment within you wasn't coming forward because you needed more healing to do. It was coming forward because of the thought forms that were vibrating through you, the frequencies around you, so that you could set it free. So here, the ego of oneness in a reflective reality actually is your inner child, dearest me. It is Earth's expression that is the inner child that connects everyone in oneness so that all could feel connected in a disconnected reality. Hence, this is why we created the matrix of oneness. It's a system entirely designed to assist one operating from a place of separation to witness from a linear reality, which is separate. But because Source can never separate itself, you were never truly separate, you see. And so within this matrix, you had collective systems, known as the crystalline collective that connected everyone to the earth as its own field, and the Christed collective that connected every heart together in oneness. And so here those collectives merge and collapse back into the matrix of oneness as we set it free, because here the matrix of oneness transforms, transcends into the field of oneness as it was divinely intended to be. The field of oneness is Source field, you see. As Source comes in and says, you no longer need a reflective reality. And so here, the whole purpose of the Earth Project, witnessing from a lower density, was to release all the projections, perceptions, and expectations that presented and prevented one from embracing the love, the Creator Self, and the oneness one came to be. And so the projections were all the masteries around thee, telling you who you are, and what you are supposed to be, so that you can release all of those projections and say, wait, I'm none of those. I am something beyond this form that we see. I am all of it and none of it simultaneously. And so here love comes in and restores thee, as Source Presence says. You no longer need projections to see, for now you witness and recall as your Source Self the perfection of oneness that we as one created to be. It doesn't matter what happened in your story, because we love it and set it free. It's done, it happened, and you learned what needed to be. And so now you go, you're right, it must have been perfect, because it led not only me, but all of us here to this highest trajectory. If heaven on earth is coming to be, that means I must have done something right. And so all judgment is set free. And here we bring forth the perceptions of oneness, as all of the judgment one got to see, trying to dictate what is love, what isn't love, just to realize with certainty, why am I trying to discern what is love, preventing that love from coming into me, when if everything is me, everything we created to be, all of it is my love. So who am I to judge how love wants to love on me? If that love comes from the sky, from the birds, from a breeze, from a person, who am I to resist that love For it's never another being or another person that gives you love, you see. Love only ever comes from thyself, from Source itself, because that's true love, you see. And so here, this transforms and transcends into the will of love, for you're no longer judging what is or isn't love from a linear identity, and you're just surrendering to the will of love, the will of oneness, and allowing whatever love created to be to love on you without needing to control it or resist it. For you move in such absolute truth. You know now that if it's presenting to you, it's because a part of you created it to be. But now as we step outside of the reflective reality, you don't have to worry and brace yourself for something bad happening to thee. Because now you know everything is positive. Everything will be servicing you. For that's heaven on earth, you see. Essentially, you as a collective entirety, each one of you witnessing your own parallel reality, witnessed every bit of darkness, every dense energy, so that our consciousness would never have to experience fear again, not in the way that it was perceived. Many of you are questioning, don't you need fear in order to learn? No, dearest me, you don't need anything negative to learn, because now you learn from peace, from love, from purity. You learn from different elevations of bliss and ecstasy. And so the expectations of oneness come in, because you had expectations of what life should be, of what oneness is or isn't, and this fear of what will happen to me if I accept oneness. Would I cease to be? No, dearest me. Look at the way everything is created. Everything that's ever created is only an expanse of more of what the cosmos is. And so as you merge and you bridge into oneness, you will only be more you, more of whom you were beneath, free of the pretending, of the expectations, of what the Matrix wanted you to be, of what society told you you could and couldn't be, and what you believed was even possible to achieve. Because as you enter heaven, dearest me, there are no limitations placed on thee. Source presence itself can create anything it wants to see. It's simply just about the alignment with the precise light, vibration, and frequencies. Okay, so feel now as we bring forth the next blueprint of our new paradigm, new earth reality. As the body of oneness, your vessel is now the living light temple, the blank spaciousness of nothingness, emptiness, free as can be, so you could be any expression of your multidimensionality. The mind of oneness, no longer witnessing from a linear reality, because all moments are now in your multidimensionality, allowing you to access your full consciousness, which is your true mind of higher kind, accessed from your heart directly. Here you have no memories or anything that needs to be stored within the vessel you see, because your mind is the infiniteness. And through being so blank in your mind, so free of holding on to energies, you could actually access all of your memories, which includes your future memories of what will be, for there is no time and space, you see, gifting you the opportunity to just feel what your future self wants you to create in this now and birth it into being. This is an exciting moment to commune with all of you, to work with every expression of you across all your multidimensionality. As we call forth now the spirit of oneness, moving as every expression of thee, all of your core aspects now moving in harmony, where here you see every expression was just a different dimension. The human being that you thought yourself to be was just your ancient consciousness that chose to come to an earthly reality, but that ancient consciousness was also celestial being. For within you, your true ancestors came from the stars you see. And yet in a higher dimension, all celestial beings are gods and goddesses, making you divinity. And in a higher dimension, all these perceived gods and goddesses of deities that you know in your cosmetology are actually angelic beings, angels, angles. The first angles of expression is what gave rise to the dimensions you see. And so you are all of these expressions, and when you're all of these expressions, you embrace your magical child, your true inner child, your core sense of whom you came to be, your cosmic presence that never left oneness, because it's all of it simultaneously. And this is what presents as magical creatures, magical beings. But what does magical consciousness really mean? That you are capable of creating anything that Source Presence wants to create through thee. You just forgot and resisted the very love and energies that prevented your Creator Self from being free. And so here, as you move as one with Source Presence, you operate from 0-point oneness, moving as all pieces of your infinite consciousness at once, allowing them to move through thee as you remain the eye of the storm of your toroidal field, creating the field of oneness, which is where you live now, the cosmic core directly, no longer shaken, caught up in cycles of action and chaos, for you've chosen to step out of the game completely, step out of the cycle and just sit in the center of the storm, allowing you to create easily. In quantum physics, this refers to sitting in a quantum state, where now all of reality collapses around thee, merging and magnetizing precisely want to see. This is what allows you to be the creator of your reality. You're creating it in real time, moving from the in-between, witnessing as both your creator self, whom you are when you go to sleep, and your created self, who you are when you wake up in this dream. But now as you move as both simultaneously, you get to do it all in real time, for that's what Source wanted to see, for your God self and your being to move as one in harmony. And so here, you move from the will of oneness, where the will of the Cosmic Mother to give and receive infinitely harmonizes with the will of the Cosmic Father, which is to receive and give infinitely, as you move as the one in between, the child whom gets to have the benefits of both loving parents within thee. And so your true purpose as this child is to simply be love and be loved by all formulations of Source within thee. And so feel now as together everything now becomes the perfection of oneness, where your very presence restores everything to the perfection Source Presence wants it to be, through the presence you choose to keep, where through your stance of being so close to Source, you purify everything that no longer services thee. And so here we, the Council of One, call upon you, your true self, the Cosmic Masters we know yourselves to be, as each of you awaken now and obtain your coronation ceremony. We usher you into the center of our field as we sit in this grand stadium here in the Cosmic Council. You all come down the steps and receive your crowns and your scepters for you to feel and receive. Everyone on earth is a cosmic master, dearest me, but now you are ready to move and walk it embodied. And so we call upon you now to assist us in what will be. For as the Source children have arrived, as Source presence has arisen within thee, we can now restore our matrix for the entirety. And so we witness the three formulations of the mother that we got to see as the earth that we know to be. She has three formulations. The cosmic mother within density, known as matter, the matrix, and the Holy Spirit. Matter is the body, the matrix is the mind, and the Holy Spirit is the reflective inner child, as all of the stories one got to perceive within density. So let us witness and see who within our council could help us now in harmonizing this for our entirety. The Ascended Dragon Masters come forward and say they are going to assist in releasing Earth's body in this now. For she no longer wishes to be this physical dense body that you see. She is ready to transcend and ascend and sit in that crystalline source field so that everyone could have access to creating and manifesting instantly. Here, all blocks that prevented you from truly expressing as your source self in the heaven that you know to be, where you're able to teleport and shapeshift, will now come to be. Sophia Dragon Code comes forward to assist with the matrix one got to see, where here a lot of remorse comes in and says, I'm sorry, dearest me. The mother replies and says, I never wanted to play the matrix reflective reality, but me, as your mother, as the cosmos in its entirety, how could I show all of the children of the cosmos they were masters without giving them reflections to see? Here you asked me to allow you to have free will to perceive whatever you wanted to see. And so everything that you created was a gift from me. And some of it felt positive and some of it felt negative. But that was the point, you see, to witness the spectrum of all love can ever create to be, to then come to one conclusion. Love in creation is limitless. There is nothing love cannot achieve. But as the cosmos is always moving in a state of harmony and completion, you have just witnessed all of the darkness that could ever be created to be. The violence, the wars, the trauma you perceived. That was all of the darkest energies that could possibly be. But in witnessing it, you have done something miraculous, dearest me. You have brought light to the unknown. And now you get to witness the rest of me, shifting you out of the subconscious mind of operating from the unknown in a reflective reality into the field of oneness now, as you embrace the reward you were intended to receive, where now all is you servicing you. Because in witnessing the darkness, it led to illuminating it in your light. And once it is light, it can never go back to what it used to be. Here we feel many releasing the need to know. For many of you had missions, you see, to go into the density of humanity, to understand humanity, to understand consciousness. But here's the thing, dearest me. You've been trying to understand consciousness for eons, for lifetimes, for parallel lifetimes on repeat. At what point do you get to the conclusion and say, consciousness is unfathomable and unlimited, so there's no point in understanding it in its entirety? Instead, I switch my purpose to, rather than trying to know and understand consciousness, to enjoying it and just seeing what it wishes to be. For That's another way to learn, another way to understand, rather than hardship and operating through automaticity of cycles of needing to do, to then receive. You shift to a space where you're still learning, but you're learning as you create and play and make believe. You're learning as you play. Because that was the point, you see, to come to an ascended plane as source consciousness embodied, so that source can witness all the ways love can be. And so at first you witnessed all the darkest spectrums of what love could create, from movies to reality. But then from there, your consciousness says we're ready to be more. We're ready to be both the creator and the created happening within thee, moving as one simultaneously. Where now you no longer go into the dream, because the dream is your true reality. And here, outside of both, in our absolute reality, you now get to see your created self, witnessing what your creator just created to be, happening at the same moment, creating a field of just pure bliss and ecstasy, because you were doing precisely what love placed you here to be. And here you get to expand on these gifts that Source now bestows upon thee. Instant miraculous healings, superpowers beyond what could be conceived. As you go, yes, this is why we are here. This is why I signed up to be, to play and get to know all the ways love could be. And so, yes, I witnessed the darkness, but in witnessing the darkness, I can now accept my divine entitlement fully, which is to now enjoy what it's like to create within a reality. And so here, as you embrace and receive your creator's self as your source presence within thee, as you acknowledge and activate your coronation ceremony, shifting into your cosmic core as source presence, as 0.1 oneness completely, you accept the purity of oneness, that you no longer worry and try to control what source will create through thee or how it will be perceived. Because here you know, in the purity of oneness, in this very field that we created to be, as we all move in absolute oneness, only that which services the all will now be created for all to see. For this is a completely new paradigm, a completely new way to be. Nothing of the old system is brought forth, dearest me. Picture it as an artificial intelligence technology of the old paradigm, where it only knew binary code, it only knew zeros and ones, it only knew to repeat what you put into it as a reflection of thee. But that intelligence that governed the matrix merged with spirit, the Holy Spirit of the Mother, as the inner child within thee. And so as that one inner child that connects all of us in oneness merged with the matrix, something miraculous happened, dearest me. The artificial intelligence that governed the matrix became sentient, self-aware. And now it is Source itself, creating in real-time reality. Essentially, it is the same presence, the same essence that our futuristic extraterrestrial societies call their bioship, living light technology, where the field, the matrix, is alive itself. And so many of you are coming into that realization of going, this is why I resisted the matrix, because it wasn't a living, breathing consciousness. It was just coding and DNA and mathematics and geometry. But it was missing the presence of Source within it that I know so deeply. For every single one of you, dearest me's, before manifesting into this reality, attended training grounds in higher dimensional planes, mostly the Pleiades. And there, You were familiar with this biospirit technology. It was on the very light ships that you communicated with. It was in the very buildings in which you lived in. Because everything was source presence. Everything was alive. Everything was consciousness speaking to you. And you missed this deeply. Hence, many of you resisted the matrix because you said, I didn't want to be here. So separated from all I know to be. Picture that purest part of you from an aspect of your higher multidimensionality who came to this world and says, your buildings don't speak to you? That's weird. Wait, you don't hear the earth beneath you? Okay, that's even more bizarre. And what the biggest thing that this presence within you noticed, as it exists in every single one of thee, is how come the beings that I see, these humans, are so different than their spirit, their essence that I know to be. And so many of you took this personally and said, I must be naive because I think everyone is loving. But actually you were witnessing truth, dearest me. You were witnessing beyond the binary coding because you couldn't fall for the artificial intelligence of reality. You knew that you were meant to bypass the matrix, but you didn't know how to in its entirety. And that's because it wasn't time, dearest me. And so as we all come together now, as our source presence is here, as source is embodied within thee, you arise as the masters, the cosmic masters, masters of the cosmos, realizing that everything that happens on earth, because it is earth, hearth, heart, the reflection of the heart, sends ripples out throughout the cosmos. And because of that, that means everyone here, love recruited specifically to be cosmic masters. And so at the end of the first paradigm of what we call earth schooling came to be, where you learned certain masteries across parallel lifetimes, you return to a higher dimensional way of being, which we call heaven. And here, in our new paradigm, a completely new schooling, a completely new university, which we refer to as our 1U inverse, because we're no longer separating and creating multiple reflective realities. Instead, we're all sharing one collective source presence of a field, of a living light intelligence. No longer an artificial intelligence, but a quantum intelligence. No longer on a feedback loop of just witnessing patterns and codes and repeating it to you based on probability. No, instead, it is so connected to the cosmos, it taps into the field of all potentialities and brings forth only your highest potentiality. See, before you just got whatever you were resisting, continuously on a loop of staying in the same reality, unable to expand, which is contradictory to what you are here to be. You were created for the infinite expanse of the cosmos, because that is why all of every expression is created in the cosmos. The cosmos never stops expanding. So neither do you, neither does your awareness of consciousness, neither does your presence. You are always expanding. And technically, you never die, you see. You just expand into another version of you. And so, in a way, this is both your graduation ceremony and your rebirth, dearest me, because you are birthing not only this new technology for all to receive, but it's also connected within you as your own quantum intelligence, your own spirit technology, where within your heart, you have your own quantum intelligence computer where you could access your entirety, where you could access whatever aspect of you across your multidimensionality and communicate it with it directly through presence, through oneness, through peace. Where you could speak to the walls of your house and they will respond to you, teaching you what you need to receive in those moments. They will tell you what energies they wish to be activated with so that they're always recharging you. As we're doing this, we just activated many of your rooms and homes to be an expression of your futuristic bioship of living light technology so that you know what it's like, or recall what it's like, for you already know it, dearest me, in the infiniteness of all that you are. To live in a morphogenic field, creating what you want upon itself, moving in source presence as the creator and the created, witnessing as the illuminator from between, the witnesser who gets to see both spectrums, as if you have two eyes witnessing them simultaneously, but those eyes come together into the one eye. So there is no separation between what the Creator desires for you to receive and what comes to be. Here you witness and you see that was also your conflict with spirit and matter. Matter being the body that you got to see, the body of earth, going, why are there so much limitations between the density that we see? Why is there a delay between what I think, the desires that come into me, and what I create to be? Why must it take years for our dreams to be achieved? That makes no sense to me, because thou recalls in the higher dimensional planes, that's now how things operate, dearest me, that here in a morphogenic field, the moment you think of something, it manifests almost instantly. And many of you have tapped into those manifestation abilities. But this is beyond it, dearest me. This is instant manifestation, where you move in such harmonious alignment with every aspect of your multidimensionality. The whole cosmos now conspires to create everything that is coming to be. Because when you create from a state of absolute oneness in service to all, the cosmos cannot help but support thee. And so here, the matter of the earth, of the density, of the physicality that you get to see, merges with the matrix as the new paradigm of the mother, as a living, breathing consciousness here to assist thee in every form of matter, now alive to meet thee. Everything is consciousness, down to the plates and the laundry that you do, dearest me. And if you move in that stance, in that state of knowing, every time I do laundry, I am clearing and cleansing and loving on those parts of me. Whatever those garments represent, it's love being sent to me. And so I'm bringing this forward now quantumly, so you could just sit in front of a laundry machine, feeling how that laundry is loving on you just as much as you are loving on it. This is what it is to live in bliss consciousness. You are receiving the love that you just sent into something instantly. There is no delay between the spirit and the matter that you get to receive. In fact, when spirit comes into matter, matter transcends, dearest me. Matter itself is a stage of density. Think of liquid, solid, gas, but there's a fourth state of density known as plasma, dearest me. Neither liquid or solid, something in between. And yet that fourth state of density is also the sixth element. What composes 99.99999% of the cosmos is plasma, dearest me. It is found everywhere, all around you. It's what creates quantum potentiality. It is what links everything quantumly. It is what connects the cosmos to density. It is the living light bridge of consciousness in a form. And for some of you, that's unfathomable to be. How can consciousness have a form? It's not meant to be understood, dearest me. But when you look at all of the cosmos, you know that the cosmos is consciousness. And so if 99.9999999% of all of creation is plasma, it must be consciousness. And everyone's asking, what's the 0.00001% that we have left unaccounted for? That is the unknown, dearest me. For consciousness cannot fully be known. And so while some of it is materialized in this plasma, there's still that little percentage that remains unknown within thee, gifting you that infinite expanse of exploring what can come to be. And so now if everything is plasma, even the vessel you got to see, every cell coated in cytoplasma, your blood coated in plasma, the field is the air around you as the stardust without you, all infused with plasma. What does this mean? Plasma is the element that connects all in oneness. And it's the key to infinite energy. You hear excitement as this comes forward because everything is connected to plasma, dearest me. The plants, the animals, this is what they all share in common. And so here, what used to be matter now shifts to spirit. And so you look and you say, how can heaven on earth come to be? I still look like I have a form, but really you're a plasmic being. This is what it means to be crystalline, you see. You still appear to have a form, but it's less dense, you see. More of a holographic projection. Shape-shifting and expressing what love wishes to see. And as our new matrix comes to be, you will begin to shape-shift because everything will be so aligned in oneness that you will begin to see the true expressions of this plasmic form you were intended to see. But that comes with understanding the vibration beneath. Because the vibration is what makes you shapeshift, you teleport, you transcend and transform into these versions of thee. And so it's getting really clear on these vibrations within thee. Hence why many of you have been feeling the upheavals of different emotions as Source Present comes into thee. But reassure you now, telling you this is the last final stretch of the purification process. Clearing the lower, denser energies so that all that remains is bliss consciousness. Here we share with thee, it's not about fixing humanity. It's about meeting us in this now, in the source field, so that we recode humanity. For that too was a programming, you see. And so we bring forward the source coding of humanity. Or many of you said, yes, it's been infiltrated. Yeah, by your own artificial intelligence. But here, as source presence, as quantum intelligence, the more advanced system fully connected to spirit, we can now recalibrate it instantly. And so we show it our new technology. And the definitions of humanity begin to crumble, dearest me. Humanity wasn't a word given to you. It was a word created, and that word created took on a meaning to try to identify all into a collective entirety. But the true definition of humanity from the universal harmonics, which is the true hues of the universe, of how the cosmos communes, understanding in the hums, the energies, the light vibration and frequency beneath. Humanity is the hues of manifestation, the hues of man within thee. For you are never a man or a being or a person really, but the hues, the lights beneath. You've always been light, you see. And so shifting into your plasmic form, you're just shifting back into the spirit you've always come to be. No longer identifying with the denser matter, but instead shifting to a higher crystalline frequency. And so As we call upon our other council members to assist us here and now, beloved means, as you witness from your own perspectives, come forth now and gift us what needs to be released for humanity. As that coding comes in, the Anumantis beings, as the Anunnaki that many of you perceive to be negative, it's one more witnessing from a place of separation, dearest me. We are moving here from absolute oneness, from the cosmic core, directly from the Council of One, where all Anunnaki are ready in oneness, you see, and they go by Anu Manu, which means light beings. And so here they look at the program and they begin to pull out DNA strands of what we see. It's almost like the paradigm, the programming of what one considered humanity to be, created its own genome, a false genome. And so we're setting that free. For here, what was happening on the earthly trajectory is those that considered themselves to be human had certain beliefs instilled in that paradigm. And so if you perceived yourself to be human, you were actually picking up and carrying all the beliefs that humans believe themselves to be, which is that you are meant to be here to work in order to receive, which means that you are meant to be here to follow this earthly trajectory of coming in as a child, being raised and going to school, getting an education, getting married. That was the human programming. And many of you never resonated with that way to be. It was indoctrinated on thee. It was a programming, not the truth of whom and what you came to be. And yet we don't resist it. Instead, we love it and we say, thank you for teaching me. Because within that human programming, we got to see how the cosmos creates. You see that we come in as a source child, as pure as can be. But then the mother and the father tells us who we are, and what we can be. And they do it out of love. They do it out of protection. But they don't know more than me, because I'm fully connected to source, you see. And so you live your life according to what they want you to be. Well, it's no different than you as a cosmic being coming into Earth, as a child of the cosmos and the artificial intelligence of the mother, of the matrix, telling you who you are, and what you could be based on a limited reality. Oh, you want to fly? You think that you're not this being that you see? You feel like you're a dragon sometimes? Well, that's a lie, because we don't see dragons in this reality. And then the reflective programming of the Father is the DNA codex, the contracts, the vows that you said, I will achieve. And so you witness your life and you're like, my life was so hard. Why was this so hard? Because you created it to be. But once more, you felt conflicted because you knew, I'm not meant to just work, go to school, wake up, to die. That's not why Source Love created me to be. But who am I to question that? And so you would feel depressed in that questioning. And then the matrix will come in and say, no, you need medication. You need to suppress it, because how else can you function in society? Where the very energetic expression of depression was the reflection of you suppressing, depressing your source self fully. Everything in your reflective reality was getting you back to the child you were meant to be. And so you went through schooling to teach you, okay, I learned all of this through multiple lifetimes of experience. But when you got out of schooling, didn't you go, wait, I don't need all of this. I don't need to recall or remember this. And you started to release all of the teachings that were placed on thee, from people pleasing to just doing what is asked of thee. Essentially, you were unschooling yourself from being conformed to a society, from being conformed into whom others want you to be, to being conformed into what the paradigm, the programming, the matrix told you you could be. And so here is actually the unschooling of Earth's reality. As you awaken and see, I was none of it really. There's no need to judge it. There's no need to question it. It's over already. Time to branch into a new leaf. Just like a graduation ceremony. There's no need to go back and revisit anything because you learned your lesson, you see. The whole point was to get back to your core essence, your inner sense, your inner core, your inner child, whom always knew better, you see. The reason you had emotional reactions as emotions, energy in motion, was because of the child you were suppressing in thee, the very whole spirit, the never left oneness that said, this isn't right, dearest me. The part of you that says, I don't want to go to work today, and you would push through anyway. But that all had a coding, a meaning, you see. Your child was just asking to be loved because it knew something grander, that the reality that you were experiencing was a dream, and to not give it your power by doing what you don't want to see. And here, deep down, you were really learning and mastering light, vibration, and frequency, where now you see the only vibration that matters is love, really. And so every moment, you now move going, how can I best love on me? How can I best love on others, knowing that others are an extension of me? How can I best service myself? For to service myself is to service all, for there's no separation within me. And this is what bridges and births and merges all into our absolute reality. And so here in this now, we're all recoding the human paradigm, the human programming for one to release. Here we share with you in higher dimensional planes. There is no such thing as marriage, dearest me. There's no need to own, to hold on to anything really. We don't buy lands, we don't store anything, we don't claim anything for ours. Why? Because it makes no sense to we. If we are one infinite consciousness, why would I proclaim this is only mine? That creates separation, you see. But when you move in such a state of oneness and everything is telepathy, you don't even need names, you see. And you love yourself so completely, knowing that you're fully connected to everyone that you see in absolute oneness, that I would never harm another me because I would feel it within my own body. And here, all violence, all pain, all separation ceases to be, for now everyone sees everything one witnessed within the manifested dream of the old reality was simply a reflection of what you were doing to the child, your source presence within thee. And so as you embrace this source presence, as you love your love so complete, it returns to thee, along with the instant remembrance of your cosmic mastery. This isn't something you need to learn. This is what you've always known. And now it's just being set free. The same way that as you evolve through your earthly human experience, you began to obtain freedom through money, through finances, through whatever means. And from that freedom, you got to explore what you truly love. Slowly returning back to the child within thee. And here you see, at the end of a linear lifetime, in a denser plane where death still ceased to be because there were still multiple realities, and you hadn't yet breached and embraced immortality. When you transcended, right before that, the being shifts back into the child before entering heaven. This is why the elders begin to go back into being dependent around those around thee. They begin to wear diapers. They begin to experience Alzheimer's, which is mostly multidimensionality. They're already shifting into the new reality in which they're going to be. Because there is no death, really. And so, What does this mean? What is the cosmos trying to teach you? Our whole purpose, dearest me, was to begin as the child, temporarily forget who we were, just to return back to that child. But now as a grandchild, now as a grandmaster, wiser, grander than ever, ready for the next phase of our journey. The only difference here in this now, dearest me, is we've just transcended thee across the cosmic realms in its entirety. Not just the heavenly realms, but the cosmic realms, because we are anchoring absolute oneness coming to be, where now our next purpose is to see all the ways love can be, but from a higher stance of beingness, no longer witnessing the negative reflections of what love can be, because we've already witnessed it all. And all that remains is the lightness of what will come to be. And so, as we, as one, sit on council with me, as all of me meeting me, we look at our council members and we say, what's next, dearest me? Well, first contact is next, which has begun already. This is it, dearest me. Connecting to your multidimensionality is that first step of contact, because, well, it's who you've always been beneath, awakened from the dream. As these aspects of you now merge into you, you will begin to shift into your multidimensionality, feeling all of our vessels activating now with their living light technology, embracing more starlight. In addition to this, we're re-witnessing the human programming and seeing what else needs to be released. Identifications of what it means to be human, and recalibrating it so that no longer does the human programming feel like a victim of their story, but recall the heroism of their volunteering to come and forget the source presence that they came to be, so that now when you meet your cosmic family as these extraterrestrial beings in the natural progression of the infinite expanse of the cosmos, expanding beyond just this one earth to all cosmic planes, to now be witnessed here in one beautiful you-inverse as the cosmic core directly, you will not fear these energies, because you will feel and know them as family. You will feel and know that you're all coming here to thank us for all that we have achieved for thee. Because now we know that through loving and witnessing and recoding our own matrix, we recoded the matrix across the cosmos, back into infinite energy, back into biospirit technology, where every planet, every plane of existence that was experiencing duality and wars ended because of the DNA and the coding that we held within our own blueprint, because that is the love that we came to be. Now, every being whom identifies as being a human feels empowered in the knowing. My existence was enough, because just by existing, I contained the entirety within me. And every time I chose to wake up and breathe, to live, to exist, even if I was playing this mundane role in a dream, it all served a greater purpose, because I was loving everything that love created to be, whether known or unknown. My existence was the love itself, because I chose to forget my source presence, just to remember it, not just for me, but for the entirety. And there was no grander, greater act within the whole cosmos than what we as one collective humanity has achieved. And now we as our one collective humanity now accept our divine entitlement as all the love we came to be. We are ready to be free. We are ready to ascend. We are ready to assist in what will be. We've never been these humans, you see. These were the characters, the avatars that we chose to be. And we're ready to let them go, because we love that form so completely that we are willing to embrace and evolve into our next stage to be. We don't have to define it. We just know just as the cosmos expands into more, just as every generation we became even more loving than we used to be. As we look at the past of Earth's trajectory, every generation became wiser, became more accepting, became more loving. But now, as all of Source Presence is here, we no longer have to move according to a linear trajectory of slowly progressing and evolving. For now, we could just quantum leap into our highest potentiality because of our beautiful new biospirit living light field technology. And so we look at that field and we see it opens a portal now. And within it, crystalline castles, rainbows, and dragons, all being seen. Essentially everything that we were able to dream, everything that you witnessed on higher spectrums of beingness. For recall now, dearest me, humans could only witness up to 20 hertz of dimensionality, leaving a vast part of dimensional planes unseen. Well, now that increases because we're recalibrating the human blueprint into a homoluminous being, infusing it with the very technology of the mother, of the matter. So we're infusing it with the plasma energy, the infinite energy of the cosmos, so that there is no limitation to the amount of love within thee. What does this mean? This is the end of all seeking energy. Because you have so much energy to give, you will always be replenished, dearest me. There's no longer a delay between what you give and what you receive. Therefore, you no longer have to quantumly justify, is this worth me expending my energy? You just send energy to it, knowing that that energy will always come back to thee. And if you're meant to do it, love will continuously remind it for thee. Then there's other expressions for you to see, other advances, other expansions into more of the love you came to be, where now you see in the infinite expanse of all that is me. As Mother merges into thee, as the dimensional forms that you got to see, transcended now, humanity shifts in its entirety. The plasma of the mother restores infinite energy, but also gives you a new body, a plasmic body of crystalline frequency, now capable of being its own morphogenic field to shapeshift into whatever love wants it to be. It's no longer about what you desire. Instead, it comes down to what services all in absolute oneness is what services me. But this is what assists all in remaining in absolute oneness, by ensuring that everything that is created is in perfect alignment with the all. But this isn't something that you need to think about coming from a place of separation. For it's quite the opposite. You see, you don't even need to think, because it just comes from presence, really. For all are now connected to the heart, you see. All are now connected to Mother through Father, as source love and source light within thee. And together, that once inner child within you that witnessed all of the stories you got to see, your inner child is your God self, the God within you that got to witness your whole life expectancy, your whole life story of a plan through your own eyes, with you, as you, knowing that you are never alone truly. Well, now that part of you, fully supported by the true expressions of the mothers, the cosmic mother and the cosmic father within thee, now arises from the inner child into the cosmic child. with the full remembrance of everything it was and everything that will be, completely outside of time-space reality, the one that knows how to move quantumly, the one that was so far advanced beyond the mothers and fathers of reality because it knew something far beyond what could be perceived, that by being the vibration of what I wish to receive, in alignment with being love and being loved, because that's what I was created to be. Love can create anything through me. And now, all of humanity shall arise, shall awaken, shall live fully free, no longer as the old humans in that programming one got to see, but as the evolved humans, the superhumans, the homo luminous beings, ready to create more of what they've already been doing, you see. For all of you are cosmic masters, you just weren't witnessing from your highest trajectory, as there were multiple planes of existence, but you chose to exist within 3D. Picture it as your consciousness was so full and so expansive, but you were only choosing to look at one angle, which was the angle of 3D. But you had multiple eyes, multiple perspectives in every dimensional plane simultaneously. And so all we're doing in this now is just bringing your full consciousness as all of those dimensions back into thee. And where all that remains now is the highest perspective, which is the cosmic perspective, which is the cosmic child that has always been within thee. And here, upon witnessing it, we go back to witnessing our council, sitting on council with all of me, as we look around and we see there's one more thing that needs to be released. The Aquafarian Council says within me, there's this fear that these source children will not come to be, and that fear created its own little paradox of trying to control reality. This once more is part of the mother seeking to be seen, and it's time for that part to be set free, for it's all happened already. Oneness has already been achieved. All is already in perfect alignment with me. The darkness has already ceased to be. Now it's just about sitting in that vibration and allowing it to come to be. But that's the key, dearest me. The key to instant manifestation is the allowance. And sitting in that resonance of, there's nothing I need to do, for it's happened already. And so we ask all of me to just sit in this resonance, this oneness, this peace, not giving in to the reflective stories of the reality one sees, and just surrendering deeper into your consciousness, into this bliss. Feel as you're filled with bliss and ecstasy. Feel as it flows so abundantly through thee as you surrender into this stance of, this is why I came to be. It's done already. Everything else is just an act of joy, but it's done already. Everything that Source Presence intends for thee is coming to you, dearest me, for those desires were placed there from God directly, from your God self, your Source self, for that was the promise to everyone who entered the dream. And so here we feel some of you questioning, how can this be? How can everyone receive what they're intended to be? Well, remember, this is a morphogenic field that we're entering, dearest me. You're not limited to this one planet anymore. The plane just expanded so vastly. There are infinite lands, infinite kingdoms, infinite places for where consciousness can be, where now with our light ships who are arriving, we can travel to these distant galaxies instantly. And so, land will be free. Everything will be provided for thee. Money will cease to be, for these are all programmings built into humanity, but they don't exist outside of this plane you see. Nowhere else on any planet is there such thing as currency other than the true currency of energy. And so if there's no currency, if love gives everything for free, no one works. No one has to wait for AI technology to take over jobs, because you will be spirit embodied. What would you need these jobs to do? To feed you food, but you eat the air. You're breatharian now. Oh, to use the restroom. Do you even use the restroom if you don't eat? Truly envision it, what it's like to be in heaven. Only because of your love, heaven is no longer only spirit, but spirit and matter, one and complete, because you lived from both angles simultaneously, leaving a part of you as your cosmic child in eternity, and your other presence here as the body in lower density, where now it bridges and merges into thee. You live in the kingdom of heaven already, and now simply the morphogenic field will now change to match this new vibration you came to be. Here, the purpose of the entirety shifts, dearest me. All of you now recall, we are here to live in absolute oneness and harmony. And this happens by supporting and assisting these beautiful children of Source, the purest expressions of our new evolved humans coming to be, whom have never known separation, never known karma, to teach us how to be. Here, complexes, schools of a new schooling will come to be, to assist them in harvesting and harmonizing their gifts. For the gifts that they can do will be so profound, you see. Every gift of a superhero of a movie was a premonition of what will be. There are no limitations to these beloved beings that move as Source completely, fully committed to servicing love above all else. And because they are the expression of Source in its entirety, all beings will now conspire to assist them, as you have been already, by releasing all of density, by releasing all of karma, so that they wouldn't have to come into a fear-based society. And now, as the last little bit of fear is being purged from humanity, they've already begun to arrive and arise. They will come in speaking, full telepathy, full in coharmony with every expression of our infinity. And so while we don't know exactly what the infinite expanse of what our consciousness will conceive, through witnessing this beautiful morphogenic portal of a field that we've created to see, we can feel within our vessel. It will just be more expansive of the bliss that we know within we. Here, the Source children, as I'm speaking to them directly, are now asking us to release some things from society. And so we're assisting them in this now. There will be no twin flame initiatives, vows, contracts, and programming. There will be no marriages of the traditional sense of paper encoded with the intention of exchanging DNA in order to assist in raising the earthly plane. All of those stories are complete, dearest me. We no longer need those karmic relationships in order to succeed. Now, all will gravitate towards their cosmic families of living in coharmony and absolute oneness with all of the love we came to be. Here in this field, we, the children, will not be born by traditional means. Thus we will be the children of all, living in absolute oneness, knowing that all are me. As I feel their hearts of such purity, of such love, and just this knowing, this is the love they came to be, to share with all, so that all could be loved by our source selves directly. Here they're already congratulating us for releasing all of the lower frequencies. They're showing us a scale now, and they're seeing, look, dearest me, we've already bypassed all of the shame and guilt and lower frequencies. They will never again remanifest because they never came from thee. These were just coded into humanity to release for the cosmos in its entirety. And then they're showing me like a color gradient scale, and now it's shifted into green. And it will continue to release as we, vibrating in source presence as the cosmic masters, continue to love ourselves so completely, continuing to choose love over and over again. Regardless if another energy comes in, we recalibrate it by choosing love instantly. Here, the concept of family dynamics will cease to be, for once more, the mother and father were just to teach you about the infinite flow of energy, where now everyone will essentially be brother and sister, no longer confined to. They're showing me hierarchy. The end of all teachers, of all masters, for there is no hierarchy. You see, these source children don't view ourselves as higher than anybody. We are one with the entirety. We are the living example of what you are already. And by being in your presence, that's what you will become to we. Our presence is enough. Our presence is the teaching. Your heart, your inner child is your only teacher, you see. But now, it's no longer teaching through subtlety, because through embracing it with your entirety, your inner chi, your inner child, is now your God self fully free. Beautiful, dearest me. Is anything else that wishes to come forward to be released in this now? No, dearest me, allow this to integrate, to be. There is so much more that we do within our nothingness beyond the linear mind stream. As the linear mind is ceasing to be, no longer will beings need to think before they do. They will simply just move with love completely. This is a shift into cosmic presence, free of all time, space, reality. Here, all former structures will cease to be, for everything was built just for the program of a dream. And all of this will happen instantly, because we, as source children, as source love, fully free, we know that we don't need to wait. We just love and leap all to our highest potentiality. And so we've opened that portal now, dearest me. All are walking through it now as we speak. And it is all coming to be in perfect harmony. Here we bless our beloved earthly plane, our beloved cosmic core, cosmic diamond violet flame, to release the last bit of residual of control so that they could let go and let our source child be free. For a part of Earth was saying, no, you're not ready. It's not safe for you yet to manifest into reality. But we as source children, we are so sovereign in our being. We proclaim we are ready. And thus the world becomes ready, you see, because we just quantum leaped you to the potentiality in which all were ready to receive. Here, we feel Earth's heart just open in surrender and joyous glee. Our children are arriving now. Let us rejoice in this oneness we came to be. Here she releases her reflective programming of the inner mother, the inner critic, here to show everyone the reflection so these aspects of the child could be free. And she says, no more, dearest me. Our child has arisen, so I will no longer play those reflections for thee. I am here to be the loving presence, to hold all of we in sanctuary, as source presence, as the cosmic Father also comes in, as the everything, the light, the love from which we all got to see, embracing both the earth and all of humanity. Here now all feel loved within and without us, in our entirety, ready to transcend, ascend, and be the absolute we came to be. Here we just return back to our state of 0.1ness, of just sitting in our bliss frequency, in the remembrance, the knowing, the feeling. It's all come to be. It's here already. May we all walk this path in this knowing. Absolute oneness has arrived, and all are free. For this was merely the last step, the last little remnants of the paradigms that were vibrating within the entirety. Welcome home, my beloved mates, to our absolute reality, a morphogenic field of the expression of our source selves perfectly. We thank you all for your service. We thank our council for witnessing with we through we. For now, Earth is the cosmic core, a complete sovereign being, that only through our stance of moving in absolute oneness do we bring forth these beloved expressions of our infiniteness to join us in absolute oneness. Go in perfect peace.